just led by Anthony Edwards, a 22-year-old who doesn't have to be the leader. They got Conley, they got Gobert, they got Karl Anthony Towns. He doesn't have to be the leader at 22 years old. But just his attitude is what I love to see. I see a lot of people saying that. Top of the top, episode 250, Stash House Podcast. Your boy Tyler checking in. First time listeners, thank y'all for tuning in. If you tune in weekly, salute. And there's just an episode, saw some topics you may want to hear about. Thank you for tuning in as well. Podcast available on all podcast streaming platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube page. Like this video on YouTube. Subscribe to your preferred streaming platform. Leave comments, reviews. Put your people on, tell a friend to tell a friend. Check out this podcast. Anything y'all do to help support, I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Hope everyone had a safe week, safe weekend. Do the same this upcoming week. Shout out to all the college grads. Shout out to all the elementary school grads, high school grads, pre-K. I know it's about to be summertime. Everybody's about to get out of school. So everyone stay safe this summer. Be mindful of your surroundings. Drink plenty of water because it's about to get hot. All that good stuff. And, yeah, shout out to everybody still pursuing the school thing. I saw people with their masters. All that stuff, man, just motivation all around. That's what I love to see on my timeline. So, once again, salute to y'all. This week episode, I'm starting on a very light note. Of course, NBA playoffs. Got some wrestling stuff to talk about as well. But at the end of this episode, I will discuss the Diddy situation with the video that came out over the past week. And I know that situation could be a little bit triggering for some people, so I'm waiting for the end of the episode to get into that because I got to talk about it. But to start off, let's go back to the NBA playoffs. We got some Game 7s about to tip off very, very soon. I hate the fact I can't give you guys updates like after the fact. Well, really, I mean, if people were to close out in their series when they're supposed to close out, it wouldn't be no Game 7 when I'm recording. So all in all, I'm going to give y'all my predictions, and if I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, so be it. So Game 7s today, we got the Knicks versus Pacers tipping off very soon at Madison Square Garden. This will be one of those games where the energy will be top-notch, top-tier. They're going to break the notch in Madison Square Garden. I cannot wait to see that atmosphere. Game 7, Pacers, Knicks. You know the history with Reggie Miller back in the day as well, Patrick Ewing. A lot of legendary moments in the Pacers versus Knicks series, and we've got that as well this year. The Knicks, though, man, the Knicks, battered, beaten, injured, fatigued, just the way Teal's been running these guys. He got to clear out the bench. Game 7, I'm looking forward to seeing the Knicks bench, just people we haven't seen play all season, definitely throughout the playoffs. Looking forward to see what Tibbs have under his sleeve. Of course, Jalen Brunson, D. Da Vinci leading the way. I'm not sure Josh Hart availability at the moment. I know he got battered up a little bit in Game 6. OG, I think they're saying he's going to do shoot-around. He'll be a game-time decision as well. But the Knicks, like I said, just injuries all around, fatigue all around. I'm really surprised they've been able to make it to a Game 7. I just thought with just the fatigue and injuries alone, the Pacers would come up and win this series before 7, even though I had the Knicks winning this series in 7. I'm sticking with my pick of Knicks in 7. But I'm looking forward to see how the Pacers come out. Halliburton, Miles Turner, Obi Toppin as well, Siakam. I'm looking forward to see the Pacers come out energized. I'm looking forward to see if Jalen Brunson has some New York magic left in him. D. Da Vinci, I think he's going to play a major role as well. But with the Knicks, Deuce McBride, they need an unsung hero. Like I said, I know Till's going to clear out the bench. He has to clear out the bench. I'm looking forward to see if a Knicks player that we haven't seen in terms of the spotlight, will he come out for like 15 to 18 points, maybe a little bit over 20? Will Brunson be able to score 40, which I don't know. If Brunson scored 40, he got to have a little bit of ball hog in him, which could be a good and bad thing in this scenario for a Game 7. But you at home, the home atmosphere, the New York atmosphere, celebrities will be out, of course, front row, Spike Lee. We know he's going to be there. Hopefully Reggie Miller is announcing. I know he announced, I want to say maybe, Game 5, I believe, at New York. So hopefully Reggie Miller is announcing. But I'm definitely looking forward to see how this play out. But I'm riding with my pick of Knicks in 7. I don't know how they're going to pull it out just because I think injuries and fatigue will finally catch up. But I'm sticking with my picks of Knicks in 7. And, of course, by the time y'all hear this, I'm right or I'm wrong, so it is what it is. The next game 7, we got the Nuggets versus Timberwolves. This can go either way. My prediction was Nuggets in 6. Obviously, that's not going to happen. So this can go either way. They're back at Denver right now. The Timberwolves, we got to shout out the Timberwolves, second seed in the West, just led by Anthony Edwards, a 22-year-old who doesn't have to be the leader. They got Conley, they got Gobert, they got Karl Anthony Towns. He doesn't have to be the leader at 22 years old. But just his attitude is what I love to see. I see a lot of people saying that. His attitude is what I've been looking for in terms of some veterans throughout the years. Just post-game interview, just keep it real. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to lean into the, let's play the nice guy, let's play the guy everybody hates. He's like a good mixture of Draymond Green and who's a guy? Who can I think of? I would say Steph, but everybody knows Steph is like a nice guy unless you like on the court with him. But he kind of reminds me of a more likable Draymond Green, let's say that. In terms of when Draymond come off, he can say the things that are right. He can say what's on his mind, but people just see it as that's Draymond. But in terms of Anthony Edwards, he just keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? He said, yeah, I told the staff at Denver, we'll see y'all again for Game 7. You know what I'm saying? So I like that attitude that he comes with. You know, I wish Steph Curry, LeBron, like, if you got the rings, you should definitely be talking how Anthony Edwards talking. Anthony Edwards doesn't have no ring. He just won his first playoff series. He should be the last guy technically talking like this. But, yeah, he just keeping it real. And I think that's what draws a lot of people to like him. You know what I'm saying? So Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves, they got Naz Reid, 6th Man of the Year, Gobert, 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. But the key factor is Karl Anthony Towns, in my opinion. I think this is his moment right here. This Game 7 is Karl Anthony Towns' moment. I know we got a lot of attention on Ant Edwards, but in my mind, Karl Anthony Towns at an away game at that, it's easy to do it at home. Well, it's easier to do it at home, I'll say. But Game 7 at Denver, Karl Anthony Towns, can he get away from that three-point shot? Not to say it's bad. He knocks him down from time to time. I think at one point, he had like the highest three-point percentage in the playoffs. So it's not a bad thing, but a lot of people want to see him get more in the paint. But 2024 NBA basketball, we know the three-point is key. So we'll see how it goes. In terms of the Denver Nuggets, Game 6, they lost Game 6 by 35 points. 35 points. I can't remember a time, if it's ever happened, where a defending champion got beat that bad. In a closeout game at that, they could have closed out in Minnesota, but to get beat by 35 points, Minnesota definitely sent the message going back to Denver. Fourth quarter, Jokic stood up the entire fourth quarter, sending the message. I'm looking forward to him having a great bounce-back game in Game 7. But for the Nuggets, the health of Jamal Murray, he had a very, very off game, Game 6, which kind of put into question, is that calf muscle, is that all the way healed up? Is he had like I think somebody said something about an elbow injury possibly. So Jamal Murray, his health in Game 7. But all in all, the rest of those guys in that starting 5, KCP, Porter Jr., Gordon, what can they do? That Timberwolves defense, like I said last episode, we don't get to see them as much down here where I'm at unless it's like a late-night game or something. So I was very unfamiliar with the Minnesota Timberwolves defense, and we saw that a lot in Game 1 and 2. But after the first 2 games, Denver came back and won 3 straight. We thought, the inexperience and the playoffs catching up with Minnesota. But after that Game 6, that 35-point beat down to Denver, Game 7 at Denver can go either way. And I will be tuned in. Like I said, I had Denver in 6. But like I said, when the start of the playoffs, the past 5-6 years now, we've had different NBA champions each year. So with Denver, if they get eliminated, that automatically means we'll have yet another new NBA champion this year. So I wouldn't be mad at that. Anthony Edwards, he's on pace right now to become a young legend. If he's able to make this run with the Timberwolves to the finals, got to get past the conference finals. Got to get past Game 7, I'll say first. Then conference finals, but that'll be a major run on Anthony Edwards' resume. But all in all, on Denver side of things, I think the health of Jamal Murray and can the rest of the starting 5 and, of course, role players step up. In terms of the Timberwolves, can they keep up that stout defense? and can Karl Anthony Towns make a statement in Game 7 in Denver? Now, staying with the NBA playoffs, let's talk about some teams at the time of recording who's already advanced to their conference finals. First, in the West, the Dallas Mavericks defeated the OKC Thunder in 6. A very close game in Game 6. They won 117 to 116. Some clutch free throws by P.J. Washington after being down by 17 points in the third quarter. So shout out to the Dallas Mavericks making it to the Western Conference Finals, led by Kyrie Irving and Luka. Last season, they totally missed the playoffs altogether. And granted, last season, Kyrie moved from the Nets to the Dallas Mavericks mid-season. Now, first off with Luka, my biggest thing with Luka, it's like every game I watch of Luka, he complains more and more and more to the refs. That's one thing about players I really hate. Now, granted, you get fouled, you complain. It's an 82-game season plus playoffs. You're going to complain to the refs. But every game, he's like damn near pouting sometimes. Like he's on the ground, he's just looking. I'm like, bro, get back on defense. Like, it's nothing you can do about it right now mid-play. Wait till the timeout call, commercial break, then talk to the refs. But he just pouting I'm like, oh, my goodness. It's unbearable sometimes how much Luka complains. So that's one thing. In the conference finals, he's definitely got to calm down. And he's quick to get texts. It's not like he just complaining just to complain. He gets technical foul calls on him. So he has to relax because in the conference finals, I don't think they'll be as lenient as they been in terms of giving you one tech, and they warning him, hey, you got one tech already. I don't think in the conference finals they're going to give him that warning. I think they're going to be like, okay, man, look, we're going to show you 2 techs, you gone, bye. So Luka has to calm that down. Kyrie, he finally woke up in like the second half of Game 6. Kyrie's been here before. We know what Kyrie's going to do. He's a spectacular player. Like I said before, I'm not sure how he did not make that NBA 75 list. Just when you see Kyrie Irving with the basketball on the court, easily an NBA 75 player. So, like I said, P.J. Washington made some clutch free throws at the end of the game. Overall, the Dallas Mavericks shot 51% from the floor, 47% from the three-point line. They did what they need to do to ease out. Very close game in Game 6 to the OKC Thunder. OKC, youngest team in the league, I want to say. They'll be back. Led by SGA, Chet Holmgren, OKC Thunder will be in the mix for the upcoming years. Their front office probably got to make some moves, get some players to probably want to play with Chet and SGA, but I got it within great faith that the OKC Thunder will be around. We thought that years ago, too, with KD, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden, and we see how that just imploded. But I think OKC, the management, the front office, learned their lesson from that about a decade ago. I think they're going to keep Chet Holmgren and SGA very, very happy in the near future. So they'll still be in the mix. Number 1 seed in the West this year. Unfortunately, they didn't make it to the conference finals, but they'll be around for sure. In the East, the Celtics defeated the Cavaliers in 5, so my prediction about that was true. The Celtics, 3rd straight consecutive conference finals. And everybody is saying, hey, man, congrats. Y'all made it once again to the conference finals. But everybody knows when it comes to the Boston Celtics, the thing that's at the top of the list, the number 1 question, at the end of the season, the end of the playoffs, will they be on stage holding up that trophy? I mean, it's been years in the making now. I know people saying Jaylen Brown, Tatum, they've been in the league for a minute, but yet they still young. But in terms of playoff experience, these guys feel like they've been in the league at least 10 years now. It's crazy at this point. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, y'all got to get the job done. Can y'all get the job done? Porzingis, his availability is questionable right now. I think he's out for the first game of the Eastern Conference Finals at least, but that's going to play a key role. You got Drew Holiday, very experienced in these type of situations. You got Derek White. Al Horford's going to get some playing time, of course, since Porzingis is out. Can the Celtics put it all together? We'll see how it goes. In terms of the Cleveland Cavaliers, a lot of questions going into the offseason. A lot of questions. For one, their head coach, J.B. Bickerstaff. What's his future going to be like? Donovan Mitchell, a lot of questions surrounding his future. Darius Garland is rumored to be asking for a trade very soon. And Jared Allen is in trade talks as well. The center, they had some injuries this playoff, especially this series. Donovan Mitchell, Jared Allen was out. Would have loved to see if it was like a full healthy Boston Celtics versus a full healthy Cleveland Cavaliers, but we know injuries are part of the game. But going into this offseason, Cleveland, a lot of questions, and it didn't help that I want to say, was it either game 4 or 5, LeBron James was sidelined. Of course, he got tied to the Cleveland Cavaliers. That goes without question, but just LeBron James showing up to the Cleveland Cavaliers playoff game, sitting sideline with Rich Paul and his wife. Obviously, people had questions like, what is he doing? Is he scouting players? Is he looking forward to coming back to Cleveland with his son, Bronny James, in the draft as well, seeing how that goes, because we know that's LeBron's thing to play with Bronny. A lot of questions surrounding the Cleveland Cavaliers all season. Definitely got to keep a lookout on that. And speaking of the NBA draft, the Atlanta Hawks secured the first pick of the draft. Looking forward to see what they do with that pick. It's not like one player that stands out above the rest in terms of the draft class. Can they trade? And like I said before, I think it's kind of like a foregone conclusion at the moment that either Murray or Trae Young, or maybe both, will be gone from Atlanta by the time the offseason is over with. I'll be very shocked to see DeJounte Murray and Trae Young both coming back to Atlanta next season. So we got questions still left to be answered, not only with the NBA playoffs, but after the playoffs in the offseason. Looking forward to see how it goes. But at the moment, we got 2 Game 7s. Knicks versus Pacers. I'm going with my pick of Knicks in 7. Nuggets, Timberwolves. I had Nuggets in 6. So obviously that's off the table. So I think Ant-Man, can they show up in Denver and take care of business? But Jokic, see how healthy Murray is, the most experienced starting 5 in the NBA. Looking forward to see how it played out. Now let's get into the wrestling world. This weekend we have WWE King and Queen of the Ring taking place in Saudi Arabia. Start time will be 1 p.m. Great difference from normally when they in Saudi Arabia. It's like a 5, 6 o'clock in the morning start time. So it's dope to see a 1 p.m. start time. First King and Queen of the Ring tournament since 2021. 2021, we had Xavier Woods win and Zelina Vega. So it's dope to see them bring back this tournament. It's a legendary tournament in the company. Sometimes they have implications. Sometimes it just mean you won the tournament and that's it. So I'm looking forward to see what happens with the winner of the tournament for both the men and women. Overall, Triple H era has begun in full effect. I haven't spoken about anything wrestling related since before WrestleMania 40. I did my predictions. I never really followed up on WrestleMania. I mean, it is what it is at this point. A lot of injuries have taken place that changed some things around. Most notably, Rhea Ripley. She had to relinquish her belt after being injured. I think Dominic Mysterio, he's injured right now. Seth Rollins, of course, he's beaten and battered up. He's taking time off. Roman Reigns on vacation. So a few things. I think Jimmy Uso also been written off. So a lot of things have to change between WrestleMania and now. And, of course, they had Backlash in the middle. So I'm looking forward to this event. Pretty cool card. In the Triple H era, with it being multiple championship matches on this card, in the Triple H era, I do want to see more title changes compared to the past few years. There's nothing wrong with the champion being the champ for a year or so, a few months, but when it becomes like, okay, when is the climax of this storyline going to happen in terms of the belt changing? That's the main issue I've been having with the company as a whole in the past few years. It's like it's very, like I say, some of it been kind of predictable. Like it's been predictable in terms of, okay, we're going to have this match. He's going to win this match to get to the final match at SummerSlam or Survivor Series possibly, which, you know, it's good for storytelling purposes, but at the same time, we do like to see a change in belts here and there. For me personally, I would say. Not to say it got to be WCW in 2000 where we have 2 title changes in the same night on one card and it goes crazy. Not to say that, but at the same time, I would like to see more title changes overall. Let's get to the card, though. First off, we got an Intercontinental Championship match and a triple threat. Sami Zayn, the champion, facing Chad Gable and Bronson Reed. The main story here is Chad Gable and Sami Zayn. They faced each other after WrestleMania for the belt. Sami Zayn retained, and then Chad Gable attacked him in front of his family. That led to Chad Gable doing the heel turn. So he reminds me of a young Kurt Angle, that goes without saying. Bronson Reed is the odd man out, but you can't ignore him because his presence, you just can't ignore him. You see a picture of Bronson Reed, you're like, okay, yeah, he's here. Like, you can't ignore him. I'm sure he's going to get over a lot in this match. He's been in the midst now for the past few years, coming from NXT. He's a Triple H guy. I'm surprised he's not in the tournament. Bronson Reed, I think this has been like a great moment for him to have his crowning. He's on the scene. He's made it type of thing with the King of the Ring tournament. So him being the triple threat match, I'm sure he's going to have a lot of moments with both Chad Gable and Sami Zayn. Of course, Sami Zayn has the story. He's the underdog in all his situations. He got the belt now. But I'm looking forward to see where they go with the Sami Zayn Chad Gable story. I would like to see Chad Gable win this match. You know what I'm saying? That goes back to what I said about title changes. I think it's better for Sammy to just chase the belt. Like, he gets it, cool, but what's next? And like I said, Bronson Reed, he's going to have a major effect on this matchup. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm sure that Saudi Arabia crowd is going to be crazy. They got to live up to what the France crowd did in Backlash. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. Sami Zayn, his intro is going to be crazy. But I would like to see Chad Gable win. I do. Is it going to happen? I'm not sure, but I would like to see Chad Gable win. Next up, we got the Raw Women's World Championship match. Champion Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan. This is a direct result of Rhea Ripley having to relinquish her belt. They had a battle royal to determine the new women's champ. Becky Lynch won. A lot of people, including myself, thought maybe Nia Jax should have won. She's on SmackDown now. They had the draft, which really nothing changed. I don't know why they still do the draft, honestly. Go away with it. I understand it's around the same time as the NFL draft, so you're playing on that, but nothing really changed in my eyes. But with the Battle Royal, I did think Nia Jax should have probably won. A few people thought Liv Morgan should have won. And this goes back to what I'm saying about the title changing hands, because it feels like, oh, this just happening just to give Rhea time to recover. And who knows, Rhea may be ready by the time SummerSlam gets here. Liv Morgan is responsible for her injury, so they're going to play on that story. So I'm guessing Liv Morgan will beat Becky Lynch. She'll have the belt until Rhea comes back, and that'll be their match. Maybe, like I said, Rhea comes back SummerSlam. Maybe we get it before Survivor Series, hopefully. So we'll see how it goes. It really just determines on when Rhea Ripley is coming back. But I heard also she's injured and possibly pregnant. So that plays a huge role in how things will play out if she's pregnant. So I'm thinking Liv Morgan's going to get the win. Becky Lynch doesn't necessarily need the belt at this moment, but with her book being the bestseller and everything, I can see them playing on that. But I think you give it to Liv right now, and we'll just see how it goes for the remaining future. Next up, we have the Undisputed Championship match, Cody Rhodes champion versus Logan Paul. Logan Paul, who's the United States champion, which for a moment it was being promoted as champion versus champion. And I was so pissed off. I was like, fam, if you give Cody Rhodes both of these belts right now, it'll be ridiculous. It'll be ridiculous they would have gave Cody Rhodes both of the belts. I'm glad they cut it off because I was like, okay, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? So I think Cody Rhodes will win. I think it'll be a very entertaining match. I'm seeing rumors online that they don't really have nothing planned big for Cody until Roman Reigns come back, which I don't really see because, I mean, the Bloodline got their whole situation going, and the way The Rock and Cody had their interaction, The Rock was like, I'll be back after I finish my movies. And I don't know. The word is, though, they have no plans for Cody, which I don't see. I don't understand that. How do you not have plans for Cody after that WrestleMania, the way that WrestleMania 40 ended? You got the baby faces coming out. They're holding them up. You got the writers coming out, Triple H. It's like you saw Nick Khan. It was like a very pull back the curtain moment when Cody won. It was like ushering in the Triple H era, and now you telling me you don't have plans? The AJ Styles match at Backlash was a good match, but it was no story there really. This match here, there's no story, and the whole thing was, well, is it going to be title versus title? It's like, no, it's just going to be Undisputed versus United States for the belt. I would be surprised if it ends in a DQ, because that would kind of look a way to have one champion beat the other champion that's on the same show. So I'm really looking forward to see how this play out. AJ Styles has still been teasing like he's not done with his Cody Rhodes issue yet, so they'll keep playing to their story. Like I said, I feel like AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes deserved a better build-up than the one at Backlash. But, I mean, if you do it once, why not run it back again if AJ Styles were to, like, interfere in this match or try to cost Cody the title? It would be an interesting story to keep that going. So I'm looking forward to see how it play out, but I do have Cody Rhodes winning that match. Once again, I'm sure Logan Paul's going to have a viral moment or try to make a viral moment with Cody Rhodes. Looking to see how those two styles mesh together. You know what I'm saying? Because Cody more traditional, not to say he got the same move sets, but he keep it more basic throughout his time in the company since he came from AEW. Like, you've seen one Cody Rhodes match, you've seen them all, I feel like, at this point. Even with the Seth Rollins matchups, he had 3 of them back-to-back. It still felt like the same Cody Rhodes match. So, I don't know. I'm looking forward to see, like I said, when Cody won, it's like, I still rock with Roman. I really don't see it in Cody, but we'll see how it play out. Now, let's get to the King and Queen of the Ring matches. At the time of recording, the finals have not been set. So, let's talk about the matchups to set up the finals. First on Raw, we got Lyra Valkyria, who got drafted from NXT to the Raw roster, going up against Io Sky, who lost her belt to Bayley at WrestleMania. She also was drafted from SmackDown to Raw. I'm going to say go with Io Sky. I understand you got the NXT girl coming into the main roster, but I think it's a little bit too soon for a possible Queen of the Ring. So let's go with Io Sky from Raw. From SmackDown, we got Bianca Belair versus Nia Jax. And the way the Nia Jax-Jade Cargill match ended, I wouldn't be surprised if Jade tried to interfere in this match, even though her and Bianca Belair are the women tag team holders. So I don't know. I feel like Bianca Belair doesn't necessarily need to be Queen of the Ring. She's very established, multiple time world champion. Now she's the tag champion, and there's rumors she may be pregnant as well by Montez Ford with their relationship. But I would like to see Nia Jax. I mean, Nia Jax has been such a force since returning. I do think the Queen of the Ring would be like a great ending to her return in terms of, okay, we brought her back. Yes, she's been on the losing end, but, she's the Queen of the Ring. She's dominant. She got the presence. I think Nia Jax overall will be the Queen of the Ring. And for the men's side of things on Raw, we got Gunther versus Jey Uso. SmackDown, we got Tama Tonga versus Randy Orton. On Raw, of course, I really want Gunther to win. But in terms of story, I do see them going with the Jey Uso versus Tama Tonga story with the bloodline and everything. But honestly, I would like to see Gunther win. Overall, damn the story. Give it to the guy who deserves it, and it's Gunther. But I do see them playing the Jey Uso Tama Tonga card, and we'll see how that goes. Randy Orton, veteran. Wouldn't be mad at Randy either getting it. Overall, I'm going with Gunther, though. Now, to wrap up this episode, like I said at the beginning, I am talking about the Diddy video that surfaced over the weekend. I know this could be a very touchy, a very triggering topic for some people, so if you want to bounce out, I totally respect it. Thank you for tuning in. But I can't just do this episode without discussing it. I'm not going to get into what happened in the video. We seen what happened. I'm not going to even talk about what happened. We know what happened in the video. It just goes to a deeper, darker situation for me. Like, if that happened in a hotel, imagine what Cassie was going through at the house. You know what I'm saying? When this situation came up in November, she filed the lawsuit against Diddy. A lot of people had questions. I came on this podcast and say, hey, y'all, it's not like somebody just pulled that out the sky and just landed like, hey, let's go pick Diddy up. Diddy is known for crazy parties. Diddy was known for doing some wild things since the 90s. It's not far-fetched. You know what I'm saying? I know some people, you say, well, I didn't see that in him. How dare somebody accuse him of that? You can look at Diddy. Like I said, just watch Get Him to the Greek. You watch Get Him to the Greek, you know Diddy was just some wild shit. Now, when it comes to the sex and consenting adults, that's none of my business. But Cassie was on some, he forced me to do things, and then she settled. So, of course, that really doesn't help in terms of the public eye. It doesn't help your case that you settled. But it only takes one person to give up that layup. Cassie coming out and saying it when nobody else was saying it, only thing they'll say, you did throw some wild parties, and nobody ever accused him of anything illegal. But when Cassie came out, that's a lot of bravery took from her. Now, it gets kind of fishy when you bring in the hotel surveillance from 2016 from a hotel that I think they said no longer operating, and due to statute of limitations, now they can't do nothing to Diddy in terms of charging him in that video. But I think he still has some cases open, and that video definitely won't help his case. So that's a good thing that Cassie came out months ago with this lawsuit. Not sure how CNN got the video. I think they were saying something about Diddy might have paid off security, $50,000 for the video, something. But you got to remember, they raided his houses. I think they raided one house in Miami and one house in L.A. months ago. And maybe they found the video throughout the raid. Who knows? We know CNN just posted it on the timeline. Everybody was like, whoa. Very graphic material. Whenever you see a man put his hands on a woman, it just makes you throw up. It makes you throw up. I know a lot of people are saying, like, dang, imagine his kids, like his daughters, more specifically. You know what I'm saying? His daughters are what, teenagers now? They know what's going on. No, they seen the video probably and was like, it's very, very dark, man. It's very, very dark. Cassie, like I said, the bravery it took to even come out with the lawsuit that gave the alley-oop, the son making a diss record about 50 Cent, bringing Diddy up. Because, you know, you had a lot of people who are stubborn and a lot of people who just want to do stuff for clicks and views saying, oh, the Kendrick Lamar, Drake beef is taking y'all attention away from Diddy. Fam, that's the police job and the court job to handle that. You think we on the internet every day still researching Diddy? No, let the police work. Let these people do their job. And we will get information when it's time for us to get information. No, this beef is not distracting us. Like, people still is like, hey, Diddy still on. We still looking to see what happened with Diddy now. And this video just did it all for me. When we was in the group chat talking, I was like, I wish they would have arrested Diddy, then put the video out. Because situations like that, Diddy could have did vital harm to himself, and now it's like, oh damn, he ain't gonna do no time, he ain't gonna do nothing. He took care of it himself. That's what I was thinking. I was like, damn, arrest him first, then drop the video. Cause the video, the public eye, now he's like, oh, the public see me a certain way, now it's over with now. Let me go ahead and do what I gotta do. Nah, people like that need to go somewhere where other people like, hey, y'all, this Diddy, he did this to this woman. This the video. And that's all we know. You ain't gonna sit here and tell me, oh, Diddy just started this in 2016. Hell no. It goes back to the old saying, it ain't the first time, it's just the first time we seen it. You know what I'm saying? So it's a wrap for Diddy. Ain't no ifs, ands, buts about it. It's a wrap. It's done for. His whole legacy is tarnished. Done for. Burnt to the ground. We don't want to hear no comments. We want to see no, like, and it's weird looking back now, like he changed his name to Love, the Love album, and Cassie just been in the dark for so many years. We never heard, like when Cassie was dating Diddy, I didn't know they was dating until like long after. I always thought as Cassie asked the young girl from the Me and You video, I was like, well, she young as hell and Diddy old as hell. I don't think they dating. Fast forward, Diddy dating Young Miami. Young Miami didn't make it no better. She's like, I'm just in it for the bag. Like, no, girl, tell your story too. You seen some shit. So Diddy, man, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. I hate to see that video. I hate to see or hear about any woman going through that situation. It's a wrap, man. That was disgusting. That was very disgusting to see. And the fact that the hotel had it since 2016, it made it even weirder. I was like, damn, bro, it's been 8 years, y'all just not putting this video out. Like, just go to show you, man, how grimy LA culture is, how grimy celebrity culture is, how the judicial system can be. What you mean you can't charge this man? Well, if you can't charge him from this, do deeper dive into what's going on now. Find somebody who got some shit from the past 6 months to a year or something at least. So it's a wrap for Diddy, man. It's a wrap. His whole legacy is tarnished. And in the group chat we was talking, it may be a situation where Diddy on some Nino Brown shit. If I'm going down, taking everybody with me. So this could ruin a lot of stuff in the hip-hop culture and music culture. A lot of people, who knows what else may happen. Because that video was like, whoa. Like, the lawsuit was one thing. When we saw that video, like, the lawsuit was one thing, the raids was another thing, and now the video, I can only see this getting even more crazy. And like I said, hopefully we don't see no more videos like that, man. I hate that it took a video. You know what I'm saying? Because, yeah, we hear people what they say, but when you see a video, it's bring a whole different dynamic. I hate to see that, just the visual of that. But at the same time, you gotta do what you gotta do to bring nasty people down. We see it with different documentaries, the Kevin Spacey documentary, the Nickelodeon got documentary. We hearing stories, but when you see that video, you got the proof right there. The proof is there. And like I said, that's 2016. That ain't the first time Diddy done did some shit like that. And I'm sure Cassie is not the only person who's gone through that with Diddy. So it's a wrap. It's a wrap for everything. Anybody attached to him, you better come out and say, you better do your apologies. Because there's some people that was riding for Diddy. I'm like, hey, man, it don't matter if it's somebody quiet in the room. I don't care if the loudest person in the room, the richest person in the room, the brokest person in the room. When a woman come out with certain allegations, you got to take heed. You got to be like, hey, man, I don't think she's just coming out saying some shit like this. I understand it's been a long time. Why she didn't say it? I understand all that. But when she come out and say it, she get the police that lay up and they raid 2 different houses from L.A. and Miami. Oh, you know they looking for something. I'm not sure where the video came from, how CNN got it. Police doing their job, y'all. Just because people are talking about Kendrick and Drake don't mean we ignoring the fact. It's like, let the police do their job. Like, what the hell y'all want us to do? What y'all want us to do? Find information? No, let the police do that. And we'll get the information when it's time for us to get the information. So, Diddy, lock him up, man. Put him next to R. Kelly, dog. That's how I look at it. So, yeah, prayers to Cassie, prayers to anybody else who going through that situation, not even with no celebrity, just all in all, because, you know, these women got stories out here, y'all. And as men, we got to keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? I ain't here to talk about certain experiences, but I've met women who was like, you know, I never met nobody like you, my old boyfriend. It's like, whoa, like, ugh. Very, very touchy subject and triggering for most. And I saw people expressing that on the timeline when that video came out. So prayers to anyone dealing with abuse. Call somebody, man. Call the police. Get help. Get out that situation, most importantly. You know what I'm saying? Don't sit around and don't be blinded by the quote-unquote love. That's not love, y'all. Abuse is not love. So, yeah, I'm going to end this episode on that. Thank y'all for tuning in. This has been episode 250, Stash House Podcast. Make sure you guys go out, have a great work week, great school week. Stay safe. Be mindful of your surroundings. Graduates, high school grads, college grads, y'all be safe. A lot of crazy stuff going on in this world right now. A lot of people praying. A lot of people jealous of your success. So be mindful of that. Move correctly. And keep me in your prayers. I'll do the same for y'all. Salute.